Good morning, fellow Salesforce Trailblazers. A very warm welcome to day 2 of Sea Dreaming 2021, a virtual event by Trailblazers for Trailblazers organized by community groups in Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam. I'm Vlad, and I'm very excited to be your host for the day. On behalf of the entire community, we're very excited to be bringing together the Trailblazers in this virtual setting across APAC. We have prepared many exciting and useful sessions for you today. Many Salesforce experts all over Southeast Asia have joined us today to share, and you'll also have the chance to network with the solution providers that are part of Salesforce Ohana family and community. We have a packed agenda for today. Keynote sessions, session by our sponsors, breakout sessions, and finally, a demo jam. All the sessions shall be hosted in the auditorium, and you can view the current and upcoming sessions there. You can also get access to the agenda from the AirTouch icon at the bottom right of your screen. So if you are in a sponsor booth or networking, you can quickly pull up the agenda from AirTouch and view the upcoming topics and join directly from there. Same as yesterday, do keep in mind that there are points awarded for attending sessions, networking with other participants, asking questions, and even posting on the event stream on the platform. You can view the leaderboard at any time and see who is leading the pack. We will be selecting top winners from the leaderboard at the end of the event. So please do make full use of this awesome platform. Now, without further ado, let's proceed to the keynote session of the day. During the session, please use the live Q&A in the AirTouch to post your questions. The Trailblazer community welcomes all. This incredible community is a powerful force to change that continues to inspire and uplift one another to make sure everyone succeeds. Jessica Langston, Senior Director of Trailblazer Community at Salesforce, will be sharing more on the power of the Trailblazer community, provide insights into the incredible growth of the communities in Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific, and give you a few ideas on how you too can become a leader in this incredible community. Please put your hands together and welcome our keynote speaker, Jessica Langston.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here. I am so beyond thrilled to be joining you today. My name is Jessica Langston, and I have the distinct pleasure of kicking off day 2 of Sea Dreaming. So let's get started. And I just wanted to start off with a moment of gratitude to say thank you so much. I am beyond thrilled to kick off day 2. It is a community that is near and dear to my heart, and I will share a little bit more of that story soon. But without further ado, let's go ahead and kick things off with a little confetti. So we like to have fun here at Salesforce, so I just wanted to kick things off. Day 2, Sea Dreaming, awesome. Thank you for being here. It's going to be so fantastic. So just welcome, and let's go ahead and get started. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the power of the Trailblazer community. And it is truly an honor to just be here. And I want to thank you for your time, your attention. And we're going to have some fun along the way, I promise. So please stay tuned as we jump into our presentation around the power of the Trailblazer community. So before we get started, I just want to start with a quick note, forward-looking statement. Please make sure you make all purchasing decisions on products and services that are currently available. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. And I always like to start off with some intros so we can get to know each other a little bit better. So as I said, my name is Jessica Langston, and I am Senior Director of Trailblazer Community. And I've been at Salesforce for eight plus years now, which is amazing. I live right here in the San Francisco Bay Area in Walnut Creek, California. And I'm a mom of 2 amazing boys, and they certainly keep me busy. And I have a French bulldog who I also love so much. Her name is Olive. I put her picture here on the right, and she's just so cute. So I'm obsessed with her. And my favorite Salesforce character is Cody. And when I'm not chasing around some toddlers or working, I try to recharge my batteries through some activities outdoors. I really love hiking, boating, anything that gets me out of the house. I love swimming for exercise, and I enjoy the occasional cooking. And I love design, interior design, all things design, as well as organizing on my spare time, which I know is a little less fun, but I enjoy it. And of course, music. I love listening to music, playing music. So all of those wonderful things. So that's just a little bit more about me. And I just wanted to start things off with just a simple thank you. I want to thank all of our amazing Sea Dreaming organizers for the work that you've done to get to this point. You've gone above and beyond, and you have day jobs too. So just thank you for bringing us all together here today. And also thank you to the amazing Trailblazers who are attending from around the world, whether you're here in Southeast Asia or you're joining from the wider APAC region, or maybe you're tuning in at some late hour and you're joining us from around the world. It's just amazing to be here with you today virtually. And I know every day you have a choice of how you spend your precious hours. So I just want to thank you for spending some time with me today and getting a chance to talk about this incredible community that you're a part of. So the Trailblazer community is truly the heart of Salesforce. There are millions of Trailblazers with stories who have been impacted both professionally and personally by this community. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to watch these communities from around the world grow and blossom and have that effect on so many people's lives. And here's a quote by Brett Taylor, who is our president and CEO, that really sums it up for me. It says, Salesforce community is our foundation. It's bigger than us. It is our driving force. And I think that really captures it all so beautifully. And it really is a differentiator for Salesforce and how we do business. So none of us would be here today without this remarkable work of our amazing Trailblazers all over the world. They are lifetime learners. They are people who lead with values, that give back to their community, that innovate with Salesforce, and most importantly, help build a better world for others. And anyone can be a Trailblazer, whether you're an admin, a developer, a student, or a CEO. And with more than 15 million Trailblazers around 90 countries around the world, there is a community that you can tap into. So I want to touch a little bit on this ecosystem. You might hear the word Trailblazer ecosystem or Salesforce economy. I mean, it's just incredible to see the impact that Trailblazers are having on powering a whole economy. And it's not just an economy of business, it's really an economy of trust as well. So through the Trailblazers efforts, we're helping to create 9.3 million new jobs and more than 1.6 trillion new business in revenue by 2026. And we're also helping to build trust with our communities and our customers. So when a customer chooses to work with Salesforce, they become part of this incredible community to learn from, to share with, and to help provide these amazing opportunities. So together, we are achieving incredible success. And within this thriving economy, people just like you and me are succeeding beyond their wildest dreams. A recent study showed that 3 out of 5 people who participate in the Trailblazer community were able to find new jobs from the connections that they had. And 80% said that their participation made them even more productive in their companies. So it is truly a secret sauce that helps everyone succeed together. So I want to touch on a little bit more about the Trailblazer community and just give you some overview and insights to help you get some tips to make it yours. So the Trailblazer community is all about enabling you to drive your own success. And we want to put you in the driver's seat. You can learn all the skills that you need on Trailhead from anywhere and on your own time. And you can also earn skill-based credentials that employers are looking for when they're recruiting new talent. And you can easily connect with millions of customers around the world. So those of you who are in the know will tell you that Trailblazer Community is really the force behind Salesforce. And it's just incredible to see the way the power of this community has to really change people's lives. And so, although it's almost impossible to replicate this fantastic community, in reality, it's all built on a very simple formula. We focus on creating a diverse, inclusive community focused on helping one another thrive. We also make sure that we have an unbending commitment to our community's success, meaning that no trailblazer gets left behind. And this is all focused on that authenticity and making sure we keep it real, in particular with each other, and that helps to build trust. We also focus on doing well and doing good. And what this means really is that you can do well by growing this economy and by growing in your careers and in your companies. And you can do good by helping others within the community and beyond. And finally, the people who are compelled to take the lead on the community groups and community events, we really listen to them and help in every way possible, because enabling a few committed leaders has an amazing positive impact on so many. So we really focus on how we can empower all of our amazing community group leaders around the world. And as I said before, we are committed to diversity and we welcome all. And to make this happen, we are going to make sure that there are many ways for you to engage on your own terms. If you like to network and learn in person, a little tricky now always, as everything is virtual, but in person eventually, make sure you join your local or online community group. That's really where all of that happens. And so if you haven't yet done so, there's over 1,300 community groups around the world, so plenty of groups for you to participate in. And of course, if you prefer the virtual experience or like to be online, we have our amazing online community. And I'll talk a little bit more about that soon. And you can also learn from our amazing Salesforce MVPs. And we have over 200 community experts that are helping to contribute and give all of that expertise back to the community and helping so many others succeed. So I'm going to do a little bit more of a deeper dive into each of these programs and areas so you can get a little bit more understanding of how you can achieve more with Salesforce. So Trailblazer community groups are really the heart of our global community, and they are led by over 2,000 people who have jobs in the ecosystem but love helping out others so much that they volunteer to create regular meetings and awesome content for learning. These groups span 90 countries and have a wide range of roles, industries, and special interests. You can easily join a group, or you can become a leader or start a new group. It's all very simple and easy. And if you want to get more information on that, I've included the URL there. Just go to trailblazercommunitygroups.com to sign up or to start a group. And if you're helping the next generation, be sure to reach out to local students and colleges and also invite them to these amazing events, because we really want to embrace that next generation. And, you know, part of the community group program has been this fantastic global phenomenon of these community conferences that have come up all over the world. We have over 40 now around the world, and these are 1 to 3 day conferences that are built by the community for the community, and they're just so fantastic. And I mean, you're at one right now with Sea Dreaming. It's just great to see so much energy, and the way these organizers have pivoted to virtual throughout the last year and a half has really been something amazing to see. So, and we're starting to see some of these come back in person, but these are just so fantastic. So I definitely encourage you to keep going to more of these Dreaming events and see how you can get involved, because there's just so much to go around. And I just really, really, truly appreciate these events so much. So to double click on the online community, I just want to kind of rewind a bit. If you think back in June, you may have heard something about a relaunch of the reimagined Trailblazer community. This is when we had the opportunity to bring together the #1 learning platform with Trailhead with the #1 community platform, the Trailblazer community, in one sleek, unified platform that's also mobile friendly, so you can really connect from anywhere. So the online community gives you 24/7 global connection to inspiration and insights. If you're stuck on something, you can search your question through thousands of question and answer threads. And if you can't find your question, you can go ahead and ask it, and you'll usually get an answer back from another community member within 24 hours. And most answers actually come from our community. And there's actually a friendly competition between the answers leaders to answer them first, which is really fun. And we have amazing collaboration groups. These are online chatter groups where you can go and connect with your peers on everything from getting started to Salesforce to advanced code. And a little shout out, if you want to just go and mingle and meet other Trailblazers, we have a fantastic social group called the Trailblazer Community Cove. I highly recommend you participate in that. And of course, it's all intuitive and customized to help surface relevant recommended learning in the flow of the community interactions within groups and topics. So it's new, it's sleek, it's modern. We're so excited that this new tool is here. And we are now in listening mode. So if you have other ideas or ways to improve it, please submit those on the idea exchange. We're going to be continuing to see how we can innovate here and just make it the best experience possible. So I mentioned our Salesforce MVPs earlier, and if you have not heard of our Salesforce MVPs, they are amazing, amazing folks. These are our community experts who are leaders, they're experts, and they so generously give that back to the community that we honor them with the title of Salesforce MVPs. And there's so many ways that these MVPs are helping millions of our Trailblazers thrive through their thought leadership content. They are always sharing their expertise through blogs, through videos and books and more. They're providing answers on the online community and sharing their ideas back with Salesforce and helping to influence our roadmap. And of course, they're putting together their own awesome community programs like MVP Office Hours and Mentorship Central. So they're always innovating and coming up with new ways to give back. So if you haven't yet got a chance to follow an MVP, I highly encourage you to do so, and just make sure you're really tapped into that network so you can take advantage of all their amazing expertise. And of course, one of my favorite things about this community is how welcoming it is. And we're working really hard to make sure that we truly create that sense of community and belonging for all. So the few of the ways that we support this is through our equality group. So if you haven't yet, please go ahead and navigate. If you go to the online community, you will find a wealth of equality groups where you can go and join and participate in. And we, of course, have segments that support both our local and virtual groups to support women in tech, diversity groups, LGBTQIA+ as well. And then, of course, we partner very closely with our Office of Equality for co-led events and trainings. And our community is always blazing new trails and coming up with new programs that help to represent underrepresented communities. So Salesforce continues to help to support those through financial support, sponsorship, as well as volunteer opportunities with our employees. So truly, I just want to say some of the best ideas and innovations really come from the community and from people just like you. So, we all have our unique story. We have our own experiences that can help you to shape the future of this community and where it goes next. So I simply ask you, what will your story be? And I'm going to share a little bit about my story. So here's a little bit about my background. And I know I was teasing a little bit. I was going to share more on my trip to Southeast Asia. So I was born and raised in the Bay Area. I'm native to the Bay Area, and I love it. And I love all the things in the Bay Area, including the sports, the culture, and Salesforce was definitely a company I knew of very, very well before I started working here. But of course, I went off to college. I did my stint with some state schools here in California at San Diego State and Sac State, and ultimately ended up with my bachelor's in communications. And my early career was spent actually in public works. And I finished school up in Sacramento, and I went from intern to full-time employee at the Department of Water Resources. And it was a really fantastic experience. And then I made my way back to the Bay Area. I missed the Bay Area and I wanted to return back. So I literally took the first job that I found on like monster.com back in marketing. And I did another pivot in terms of industries, and I made my way into the food and beverage industry. Got some fantastic marketing experience, worked my way up, and did a lot with events, graphic design, and kind of the whole marketing job. But my Salesforce career really took off in 2013 when I landed my dream job on the developer relations team. And here's a couple personal photos from that time. It was really a fantastic, formative time for me, and had so many great opportunities, which ultimately led to one trip to Southeast Asia. And at the time, I was really, I was a local girl. I didn't do a lot of traveling, and this was really my biggest international trip that I had done to date. And it was a big one. I actually spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia. I think it was a 14-day tour that really ultimately changed my career path. And it's where I found my passion for community. So I spent time in Singapore, in Kuala Lumpur, as well as Ho Chi Minh City. So it was a fantastic tour of, at the time, there was really only 3 community groups in Southeast Asia. And so each of these stops, we did a stint with the community there. I got to meet so many awesome community group leaders and members. And it was just such a warm, welcoming, amazing experience. And it really stuck with me. And I remember thinking on that trip, if I could do this job all the time, I would be so lucky. And it was really the authenticity of community that really, really hooked me. I just thought it was so incredible to see so many of these leaders stepping up and hosting these events all on their own and all volunteers. And they were so enthusiastic, and it really did stick with me. So when I came back to the Bay Area, I went ahead and went all in on community. So I joined the developer community team back in 2015. I made the full transition and really got a chance to do community building at Salesforce full time. And it was a really exciting move. I was also a little bit scared because community management was a newer field. I didn't quite know what I was getting into, but I was passionate enough where I took the risk. And in 2017, I went from doing developer community focus to rebranding with the Trailblazer Community. After the launch of Trailhead, we rebranded as Trailblazer Community. We brought together the user group program and the developer group program into one umbrella. And it was actually my first time being a manager at Salesforce as well. So it was a really exciting time. And it was really fantastic to kind of bring the community all together and really harness the power of the entire community. And then finally, just a few more steps on the journey, making my way to director, which was fantastic and just super exciting, and running a team. And now I'm on to senior director, and just, I think I made the right move ultimately. I am so happy that I made the move, and it's been really, really, truly a blessing to be able to work so closely with this community. They inspire me every day. I get to hear so many fantastic stories, and it just really is a dream job. So I just wanted to share that story here because I thought it was really fun and full circle to come back to this event after being so inspired by this community to really change my career path. And so hopefully I inspire some of you all with some new ideas on how you can get involved. And I just wanted to share a couple more stats about the Trailblazer community today in Southeast Asia. So as I mentioned at the time, and that was back in 2014, there was 3 community groups. And today we're at over 30 with 32 community groups. And I gave some of the breakdowns. So the most in the Philippines, we have 7 groups in Singapore, 7 in Malaysia, 4 in Vietnam, 1 in Thailand, and 1 in Indonesia as well. We have over 63 group leaders across 12 cities, and we have segments representing admins, developers, marketers, both in Pardot and Marketing Cloud, nonprofit, women in tech, and for user groups. And we've hosted 3 community conferences since 2019 with Philippine Dreaming, Singapore Dreaming, and now Sea Dreaming. So, I mean, how incredible is that? 3 community conferences. And then we have now 5 Salesforce MVPs in this region. So that's just really incredible to see so much growth over that time. It's truly fantastic. I mean, I cannot wait to see the future and where we are in another 5 years. So I just want to say another thank you and congratulations to the amazing Trailblazers that helped put on this event. You truly are change makers. You are doing the work. You're bringing people together, and we couldn't do it without you. So I just want to thank you again, and congratulations for the team for pulling off a fantastic event. And I wanted to just kind of close things off with a quote and try to inspire you to think about, you know, what is the change that you want to see in the community, and just really empower you to think big and to be the change that you want to see in this world. So our team is here. We're here to support you. That's what the Trailblazer community team does, and we have a whole team dedicated to this. So if you have an idea, if you have an inspiration, or you want to try something, please reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to flesh out any idea with you and help to make that a reality. So I'll ask you again, what will your story be? And if I could leave you with a few takeaways of how to start engaging today with the Trailblazer community, I want you to first just reflect on your own goals. Think about your career goals. What do you want to do? Do you want to get certified? Do you want to land your dream job? This is where you will help to find your peers in the program and start to make those early connections. Also, I want to encourage you to really lean in on your trailblazer.me profile. Make sure you keep that up to date. This can really be your Salesforce resume, and it showcases all the ways that you're learning and connecting and sharing your expertise back in the community. And your employers can really reference this at a glance to see all that experience. So again, I just want to encourage you to keep that up to date and make sure you are making sure you have a presence on the online community. And finally, I want you to invest in your own learning. Not finally, but next, I want you to invest in your own learning. There are so many opportunities for you to learn Salesforce for free. So just start by starting. Just kind of chip away at it. Think about what your goals are. Get advice from other Trailblazers and understand what are the next steps that you need to do to really invest in your own learning. I also want you to focus on building your network. And this, again, is something you just want to chip away at. You don't want to just go and follow everyone all at once. You know, you really want to make those authentic connections. So really think about how can you take advantage of Sea Dreaming as a perfect starting place to follow and to connect with attendees and speakers that you meet. And then I want you to also join and start your local group in your region and truly think about finding your passion and see about how you can then pay it forward and think about helping others once you've found your own success. So you can find all of this at trailblazer.salesforce.com. I thoroughly enjoyed walking you through all of this amazing goodness about the Trailblazer community that I'm so passionate about. So simply thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time and attention. And I think what we're going to do is turn it over for Q&A next. So thank you again.
All right. Well, thank you, Jessica, for your great sharing. That was great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. So I think there were a couple of questions coming, but before we go to the questions, I have to say thing. Oh, Olive, what a sugar cube. I'm in love with Olive, your Frenchie. I love Frenchies, and I hope to meet Olive one day.
I know. I almost had her, but she's just like too loud. She was snorting too loud, so I had to put her in another room, but she is, I'm sure, wanting to be here as well.
Absolutely. And there were a couple of really good quotes that I think some of the users, also participants, emphasized. I also noted down that the community is bigger than us. It's a driving force. And what a fantastic quote. And I wanted to maybe ask you to comment on that. You know, one of the senior executives there, Brett, mentioned there that in your slides. maybe as well, when you say like driving force within Salesforce, I mean, help us understand maybe how some of your top leaders look at it, and how those discussions, let's say, how the community shapes some of the discussions within the Salesforce itself.
That's a great question. And what came to mind for me was Leah McGowan-Hare calls our Trailblazers our truth tellers. And I think it's just a voice that continues to keep us on track, making sure we're living our values, making sure we're delivering on what we promise. And so that comes to mind immediately. And I think how that comes to life in our business is really whether it's building product, putting together a keynote, we often are talking about our Trailblazers or bringing them in for feedback early and often to make sure that our messaging or our roadmaps are looking right. So that I think is kind of what is core. And honestly, what keeps my team so busy is just like helping to build all those bridges and connections from within the business to the community, whether it's inbound feedback that we're hearing and trying to connect that with the right employee at Salesforce to make sure that feedback is heard, that it's actually, it's reaching the right person. And then vice versa, if we're working on something and we need feedback just to help us in our ideation, it's like, who can we bring in from the community to give us some feedback in that process? So it really is both ways.
Well, that's fantastic. And I know there are some of the MVPs that I know, and I know that they've been traveling sometimes before COVID and meeting some of the top executives. And that was also amazing. With that exposure directly to the company leadership is just amazing. Now, there are a few other questions I think that I picked up from the live Q&A. I think there is one way who've asked, again, I guess, like, you've seen so many stories around the world of so many Trailblazers. And one way is asking, what would you say that are some of the intrinsic motivations of Trailblazers as opposed to extrinsic? And I would say that that's a very good question, because this event is organized by the volunteers. There are no really specific external rewards for this. But what's your perception like of those many stories? What comes to top of your kind of a list that you observe as this intrinsic motivations of the Trailblazers?
Yeah, I saw that question. I think that was a really fantastic question. Something that comes up all the time too, because when I think of extrinsic, I can't even say the word.
We all struggle with that word.
It's late here. I immediately thought of swag, because our community loves swag. But is that why people participate in the community at the end of the day? No, I think it helps and people love it, but that is not the key motivator. I wrote down a couple words that came to mind when I said was intrinsic. I wrote down friendship. I wrote down support, praise, and gratitude. I wrote down building your leadership skills, your personal brand, and ultimate career success. I mean, these are all really great motivators, I think, and what truly makes this community so welcoming and why people keep coming back is those are so much more powerful than any swag that you can give, right? So, I mean, swag is still going to be number one topic that I hear about. And we do
swag is always important. Yeah.
Swag, it's very important, but that is definitely not the key motivator.
Oh, absolutely. I know, me being part of the community for the last 10 years, I agree with each and every point that you mentioned. I experienced all of those in the last 10 years, and some of the people who are organizers here, all of that, really amazing. And here's another question, I think, from I think the whole industry, if you look at it now in a bit of a broader perspective, that Salesforce is seen really as a true leader in building the communities around their products, around their customers, around their users. And I think every company looks up to Salesforce to maybe build on their own community, right? Or try to walk the path of Salesforce. So in that regard, I think CS has asked, ask a question, given the size of the Salesforce community, the investment into the community seems to be significant. For companies that are starting out, setting up their partner or customer communities, what are some of the things you would recommend for them to get their communities buzzing without significant monetary investment? Because at the very end, he's probably talking about some of the smaller companies that might not have a lot of financial investments to have at the first place.
Yeah, I think that such a great topic. I would first recommend to start by listening. We listen to our community. We really build our community programs and a lot of our initiatives based on the feedback that we receive. So don't build a community in a vacuum, thinking you know what's best for the community. And I even give that advice all the time internally too, is like, well, what is the community already doing? How can we support them in those initiatives versus building something for them? So it really is more of a listening exercise first, which costs no money. You can listen, you can have coffees, you can meet with your power users on a regular basis and just get to know them. What are they thinking of? How can you kind of enable your community? Because we really rely on the leaders in our community to do the work, and we're here to really just support and enable. So I think that's really key to the success of our community, and that really keeps it authentic.
Absolutely. Wow, that's great. We have a few more minutes. So again, you've got across so many stories across the globe of the Trailblazers. Is there any one maybe story that you particularly remember that you would like maybe to share as an inspiration for all the Trailblazers? Here's a story of a Trailblazer that have gone a tremendous personal or career growth within the community or thanks to community. Any particular example or a group that maybe you remember you would want to share as an inspirational story for the rest of us?
It's really hard to choose just one. Of course, I've seen so many, and we do such a great job. Our team really does of spotlighting so many communities. I think as I was kind of approaching this event, I kind of want to give a shout out to one of my friends that I met when I was in Southeast Asia, whose name is Amir. If he's listening now, I'm saying hi. And it's not anything that we've ever highlighted before, but it's more of those personal connections that you meet. And I just have always been so inspired by him because he's been through a lot. And I won't go into his personal story, that's for him to tell. But I just am always so inspired by his passion of learning Salesforce and sharing Salesforce. And so it could be those small stories, but we've kept in touch ever since I went to Southeast Asia. And so it's like those personal connections that you make and you keep going. Sometimes are the most impactful ones to yourself. And those are the kind of the drivers that keep you going and motivated to do your job. So shout out to Amir. Hi. Just wanted to say hello. But yeah, of course, there's so many. And, I could go down the list of MVPs and there's just like amazing stories of career transitions and people that have given back so much to this community. It's really hard to pinpoint just one, but I will say that he's been on my mind quite a bit this week as I've been preparing for this event.
Well, fantastic. And we also join your greetings to Amir as well. We hope he's listening and hearing your words. Well, that's great. Last message, Jessica, from you to the Trailblazer community of Southeast Asia before we part.
I just want to say, keep being consistent, keep meeting. If you want to step up and kind of stretch yourself to become a leader in the community, you can always reach out to our team and just kind of share what is your interest, what is your niche, if you will, in the community. And we're really here to help and listen to see how we can actually make that a reality. And just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, it's amazing to see you all grow so quickly, but just continue to lift others up along the way. So thanks again for having me. This has been fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thanks for staying this late over there to join the live Q&A. We really appreciate. Well, thanks everyone for attending this keynote session. Now you may exit and proceed to our sponsor session by form assembly in the auditorium. Have a great day 2 of the Sea Dreaming. See you later. Bye.
Here's everyone.